Hello everyone and welcome back. I am your host as always, WampaOnRoids, and we have here some more Katawa-Shoujo. This game's really long. In a not bad way, but you know, I had other things I wanted to be doing already. But we'll finish this game and we'll go to those plans next. Alright. Sorry about that. We're having a few problems. What would you like? It takes me a few seconds to remember what I'd come here for. My eyes quickly dart to the side to read the menu sitting on the counter. Oh, I guess some miso soup? Is that Hisao? Yep, looks like you're pretty busy. Her face all but confirms it as she drops her waitress facade. The question aid. Somewhere along the line, our order got mixed up. We're trying to fix it now, but it seems like we only have half of what we needed. Wouldn't serving smaller portions cover over the problem? It seems that's what we'll have to do, though I wish we didn't. The fact that a good half of our class is gone doesn't help either. I glance behind her to see how many people are actually operating the stall. It couldn't be over 8. I take it that's why your teacher left? Right. That's right. She's going to try and round up a few more of our classmates to help. Hearing the sound of footsteps behind me, I stealthily glance backwards to see an elderly couple taking a place in line. I guess I'd better stop loitering and chatting. Here's the money for the soup. Soup. Oh, right. Coming right up. Lily turns around and calls for the bowl of miso soup as I hand her the money for it. Taking the coins in her palm, I can't help but notice how efficiently she counts them out with her long, pale fingers. Eventually satisfied that I've handed over the correct amount of change, she puts it into a small metal tray. It isn't long before the soup is made and carefully handed to her, after which she subsequently passes to me. Thanks. I'll come back to drop off the bowl. Thank you, Hisao. Oh, there is one other thing. Have you seen Hanako? Hanako? No, not today. Why? She gives a small sigh of abject disappointment. It's okay. I was just wondering what she was doing for the festival. You'll come back when you're done then? Sure, I'll keep an eye out for Hanako too. Thank you, Hisao. You know, Hisao, you could have, asked this girl who you seem to be digging on a lot, yo, do you want to, work this booth with me, if you know what I mean? I walk off from the stall and find a seat, carefully cradling the steaming wooden bowl in both hands. Compared to the dumplings from before, this is quite nice. A little cool compared to what it should be, but perhaps, but the flavor is enough to cover that reasonably well. As I drink, I can't help feel somewhat guilty for not being involved in the festival as others. It can't really be helped. Yes, it can. Considering as I was dropped into the school only a week ago, but it still weighs heavily on my mind. That and the fact that a few students don't really seem to be enjoying the festival as much as visitors. Eventually, I finish my bowl and leave for the stall to drop off. Considering that there seems to be no line at all, I take my time walking up. It seems this teacher's mission paid off. There are now over a dozen students helping, and much of the unpacking has been done. Despite most of them seeming quite relaxed as they work, Lily seems to be somewhat stressed. Right, I know what I'll do, even if it's just one person. I'll make the festival more enjoyable for her. As I place the bowl on the counter, I call out to Lily. Ah, Hisao, you brought it back? Yeah, here. I slid it into her hands, and she takes it over to someone who is apparently cleaning duty. Considering that I didn't see them here before, it's probably their penalty for tardiness. Hey, Lily? She perks up and returns to the counter as she hears my voice again, realizing I'm still here. Want to go see more of the festival? She puffs her cheeks up disapprovingly. She looks kinda cute, and in complete contradiction to her usually reserved nature. It takes a few seconds to get what she's taking an issue with. Whoops, I didn't mean to. Lily giggles at me, exposing her teasing for what it is. You're still not used to this school, are you? She got me. Still, I need to stay with our stall. It's taken until just now to get everything unpacked. I guess her reluctance shouldn't overly surprise me, considering how much work she's put into this. Everything seems to be running fine now, though. Besides, you've got extra help on hand anyways. A boy in the middle of cooking some soba noodles turns towards us, grinning. Go on, Lils. You deserve a break. You earned yourself a break. We can hold down the fort for now. If you say that's okay, then I suppose so. But if you need any help, then we'll call you. Go on, we'll be fine. I know that probably just sounded like my regular speaking voice, but I'm not going to give this person a distinct voice or characteristic. Lily finally gives up her resistance as he waves a spatula at her. She feels her way around the back of the stall and picks up her cane on the way. I guess the first thing we should do is look for Hanako. Lily seems kind of worried about her, and I doubt she'd be the type of person to enjoy milling about in crowds like this, all alone. So I guess we should search for Hanako? Where to first? The both of us go quiet for a moment to think. Maybe she's in her dorm room? I doubt it. She doesn't keep too many things in there, so she'd have nothing to do. Ah, the library. As good a place to search for an avid reader, I suppose. The library it is. We'll check it there first. Aside from the muffled sounds of the crowd seeping in from outside, the inside of the school seems almost deserted. In order to make sure everyone had enough room, I guess all the events were organized to be held outside on school grounds. They're definitely quite large by any other school standards. It's nice and quiet in here, isn't it? Yeah, much nicer than the hustle and bustle outside. We take our time and slowly walk through the first floor of the school, eventually reaching our ways to the stairs to the second floor. I can't help but notice how Lily anticipates every door and obstacle, her cane remaining still and her hands skating along the hallway railings. You really know the school well, don't you? She smiles and nods straight ahead. I've been here for a few years now, so I know where everything is. The dorms still trip me up, though sometimes. Haven't been there as long, and they're not as well laid out as the main building. If I'm remembering right, they used to be unused buildings before being renovated and being used as dormitories. That explains why the male and female dormitories look different from the outside, and why their rooms seem kind of unusual for sleeping quarters. I'd assumed she'd been living in the dormitory since she began attending schools, but now I'm reminded of what she said yesterday. That's right, you mentioned that before. She actually mentioned that a couple times before, but you don't listen, Hisao. Delicious. I'd assumed that most of the students here lived in the dormitories once they enrolled. A lot of them seem to, at least. In any case. Lily's expression becomes somewhat harder to read, my questioning evidently touching on a delicate point. Well, how should I say? Everyone has their reasons. Something tells me that one of those reasons is Hanako, hence her tiptoeing around the answer. My own predicament is yet another such case. I guess it's a choice that everyone here would have to make for themselves, or in my case, have made for them. It can't be helped, I suppose. At least Yamaku seems like a nice place. It's good to hear you say that. I'd thought you were coming to dislike it. What about you, though? My reversal of Lily's statement takes her by surprise. I've been here for a while, so... It's not that. You just seem pretty depressed about Akira. What's with that look? Akira's taken. Sorry, Hisao. What? Lily never sees how fast my palm meets my face at her sly accusation. Hey, I was worried about you. That's no way to respond to concern. While she gives an amused grin, we round the corner of the hallway and enter the library. As we do, it isn't hard to spot Hanako. She has a thing for blue books and looking straight ahead as she reads. Considering that the room is completely devoid of anyone else. Given that there are no staff here around, I guess there's no need to heed the usual library rules. I call out to her. Hey, Hanako. Hanako is here? As she hears our voices, Hanako's head flicks up from the book, probably the same one she's been reading on Friday. Hisao? Lily? Just thought we'd stop by. Lily managed to escape from the noodle stall with a little help. That wasn't really an escape. Hanako gives a small giggle, briefly surprising both of us. I just thought that Lily might not be enjoying the festival. Well, now we can enjoy it together, right? The two nod happily before we set out of the library and towards the festivities. I hand over some change to the girl behind the counter and take 2 styrofoam cups of tea. I try to accentuate my bow a bit to cover for the fact that she's quite obviously deaf. Come to think of it, I probably should have asked for help instead of leaving those 2 in the gardens while I brought drinks. Trying to juggle the 2 cups of hot tea for them and a can of coffee. Can of coffee? That's not an American thing. For myself, out of a vending machine is it... I have a question. Is this like one of those really amazing Japanese machines that can do everything, and therefore that's somehow hot coffee, or has he got like a big old cup of Madrinas? Big old can of Madrina. With some careful maneuvering, though, I managed to keep everything stable and upright as I walk over to the bench where Lily and Hanako are sitting and chatting. It's actually quite a nice place, lit only by moonlight. It's tucked away some distance from the main events. Compared to how hot it had been during the day, this spot is pleasantly cool by now. Not that it matters all that much. Most of the visitors have moved to areas that are either closer to the fireworks or higher on the hill in order to see the display apparently planned. Welcome back, Hisao. Her ears are good. I'm not exactly close, and Hanako hadn't noticed me. Here you go. Sorry, it's instant, but that's all they had left by now. Hanako gingerly takes a cup from my right hand, and I gently place the other one into Lily's outstretched hands. Did you enjoy the festival then, Hisao? Yeah, it was pretty fun. An honest answer. Much of the food may have been somewhat subpar, but it was a lot of fun in the end, especially with Hanako and Lily. In fact, I think those two may have enjoyed themselves more than I did. With both Lily and I around, Hanako's withdrawn nature around others died down enough for her to enjoy herself. Oh, fireworks. Delightful. As we sit drinking, the whistle of the first firework rings out before it explodes into a vibrant shower of blue against the night sky, heralding the beginning of the end for the festival. Enthusiastic shouts can be heard from the crowds scattered around the school's grounds celebrating them. For minutes on end, Hanako and I watch the fireworks overhead as Lily blissfully listens to them with her eyes shut. Red, green, yellow, star-shaped, circular, patterned, and all manner of shapes in colors fill the air, one after another, and dance across the sky. No place where I lived put on such lavish displays. Festivals like this were a thing of the past in such metropolitan areas. To be seeing such a sight with these two, it's probably the happiest I've been in a long while. So, that's it. The festival's finally ending. Yeah. She gives a delicate, wistful sigh. As much as I might complain about all the stuff we have to do, it's sad that we'll have graduated from before the next Yamaku festival. I walk forwards and stand beside Lily, gently resting a hand on her shoulder. Don't worry, we still have Tanabata later in this year, right? You're right. It'd be nice to go there when it comes. Minutes of silence pass, with only blasts of fireworks to be heard. Seeing these two reminds me of the words of advice Lily had given me as we walked into town together. Cherish the opportunity to make new friends, huh? Hey, Lily? She turns her head slightly to show she's listening, Hanako's gaze still firmly fixated on the Technicolor fireworks bursting overhead. You mind if I join you two for tea every now and again? The smile on her face is more than enough to see her answer. It would be a pleasure, he Sal. That's nice. And hey, anime. Ooh. Aww. I mean, don't get me wrong, I know that she's just as much holding onto my arm for support and, like, guidance as she is for, like, actual... what? She's touching my face. But no, she's gonna find out my, like, what I really look like. And now she's wearing a cross? Christian girls. That was really nice. Welcome to Act 2, everyone. This is a 4-act route, I think. Let's hope that all of them aren't the same length. Otherwise, I might be playing this game a little longer than I expected. I wake to the annoying din of my alarm clock. Its bright red numerals lighting up my face. It's the same alarm clock I had at home. One of the few remaining artifacts from my days before coming to Yamaku. I'd hoped that using it would help ease my transition into this new life. No such luck, though. Groggily draining myself out of bed, I wipe the sleep out of my eyes, then reach over to my desk. I open a couple of bottles of medication strewn across it and swallow a few pills dry. Dang, swallowing pills dry, you're getting good. By now, the process is starting to become automatic, something I should be glad for, given their purpose. Feeling much more awake than before, I wander into the bathroom. While the shower warms up, my mind begins to wander as my new daily routine begins again. The bright colors of the fireworks fill my mind, as do the two girls with whom I spent my time watching them. It feels strange to be moved by so much by people I know so little about. Then again, I suppose these aren't normal circumstances. At least I have someone to talk to now, aside from my schoolmate next door. God, not Kenshi, never again. Never Genji, if you know what I mean. With the time left before school begins, today waning. I begin to get ready for class. Walking through the door into the classroom, I notice that I'm still somewhat early. I see about 5 or 6 students milling around, most of them looking as if they'd rather be in bed. It's at times like these I appreciate being a morning person. That said, 2 students in particular seem as perky as always. Hi Shizune, hi Misha. I suddenly realize my greeting would be lost on the former, so I quickly follow it with a wave. She doesn't seem overly bothered, or interested for that matter. Hello, Hee-chan. Are you feeling well? I can only assume her greetings come from Shizune. It's hard to tell if she's speaking as herself or Shizune sometimes. Better than most everyone else, I guess. You two seem bright and chipper. Misha signs back to Shizune as I say it, eliciting a somewhat terse answer, if her sharp and rapid arm movements are any indication. Considering that these two have made such a big deal out of the festival preparations, I probably should have chosen my words more carefully. Since you're a new student here, we've been cutting you some slack. Please don't expect this kind of task dodging to be allowed in the future. Misha looks as if she's going to add her own comment, but quickly goes back to interpreting as Shizune continues ahead, unabated. While your contribution to Class 3-2 stall is appreciated. Huh. Word sure got around quickly. That, or these two have their fingers on the pulse of the school. We would prefer if your efforts were focused on the task at hand, namely your own class. As much as I hate to admit it, they do have a point. Before I can respond though, Shizune adds something more, which draws a smile from Misha. Did you enjoy the festival then? Lecture over, I guess. Yeah, it was good. Did you two enjoy it? Shizune gives me a short nod. Misha grins and bounces her head up and down. The contrasts side by side is amusing. Out of the corner of my eye, I notice more students starting to trickle into the classroom. A quick glance at my watch confirms that they're a few minutes late. I look over to Hanako's seat and realize she's already there and contentedly reading a book. Makes me wonder how long she's been there without me noticing. With heavy footsteps coming up the hallway, signaling Muto's arrival, our idle talking comes to an end, and I take my seat next to Misha. As the door slides open, he strides through with a ponderous gait. His posture is even worse than usual, and his eyes are barely staying open. I guess my quip to Lily and Hanako about the staff was misplaced. Everyone opens their book, and he reaches his desk, and the first class of the new week begins. I rub my eyes as the lunch bell rings out, glad for the temporary reprieve from work. I'm entirely unsurprised when I look over to the door and see Lily standing there, cane in hand. Wait, I've got a question. When did her face touching happen? When did all that stuff in the cinematic happen? Did that not happen? Is that going to happen? Did that happen in the past and we just didn't hear about it? I don't know. I'm confused. Patiently waiting for Hanako. Considering her acceptance of my request to join them yesterday, I decided to spend my lunchtime with them rather than eat alone. Ooh, Hanako moves surprisingly fast to meet her companion, and the two enter the hallway before I can catch up. Lily's head turned... Oh, hey, yo, the back of Lily's head. I don't think we've seen this sprite before. Lily's head turns slightly, registering the sound of footsteps behind her as Hanako notices and follows her lead. She almost jumps in surprise. Hisao? I mean, hello, Hisao? Hi, sorry if I startled you. Lily turns to greet me, helped in her orientation by Hanako. Good afternoon, Hisao. Are you joining us? If it's no trouble, there's not much else to do, really. Lily gives out a small nod as if to silently brush away the idea that it would be troubling in the least. We descend one set of stairs and walk down the hallway to the usual room. Our pace somewhat quicker than usual thanks to Lily using Hanako for direction rather than her cane and the railings. As expected, it's deserted. The sounds of the other clubs can only barely be heard as sunlight streams into the room from outside. Looking around the room, I notice a couple of empty easels propped up against a wall that I don't think were there earlier. The art club must use this room as extra storage. Should I get the chest set out? Hanako's voice seems less tense when she's directly addressing Lily. Yes, I'll make tea while you sort the pieces. Ah, I can do that for you if you'd like. She ponders the offer for a moment before smiling, confirming that I've made the right choice. Her face is remarkably easy to read. Very well, thank you. Is that a bow, or is she sitting down? What was that bounce? She slides her retracted cane into the handle of her bag and sets it against one of the table legs before taking a seat opposite Hanako. As I prepare the tea for the three of us, I can hear the small wooden pieces being set on the board. I wonder how good Lily is at chess, given her circumstances. By the time I place the steaming teacups onto the table, Lily and Hanako have already moved their first pieces as they nibble on sandwiches and rice balls from their respective bags. I note the chessboard they're using has holes in the middle of each square and pegs on the bottom of the pieces, and has each dark square slightly raised. Watching Lily's fingers skating over the board, quickly tracing the positions of pieces, makes me marvel a bit at the ingenuity of the design. It must be specifically made for blind players. Here you go. Oops. Oh, hey. It's that earlier one, except now that they've got a chess piece. Hanako gives a small nod as I put down the cup to her side of the board. Lily's hand ventures sideways slightly, so I gently place the cup, touching the tips of her fingers, a gesture she seems to appreciate. I finally take a seat and silently slip on my tea as the two play. The contrast in their appearances while playing is interesting to watch. Hanako looks at the board, her face one of focused concentration. Lily, on the other hand, keeps her hand level and maintains her calm neutrality. Lily's gentle voice addresses both of us as she continues to play. How was class now that the festival's over? I look toward Hanako to see whether she'll answer first, but that she's doing the same. Not great. Half of class seemed to be dozing off, including the teacher. Not to mention a test on top of all that. Hanako quietly adds her own agreement with this. I could imagine that being a bit difficult for you being a transfer student. Well, I think I did fine. Other than the shock of a test coming so early, science is probably my best subject. How'd you do, Hanako? Me? Okay, I guess. Hanako's too sincere to be able to pull off lying very well. That much is obvious. Lily's smile slips very slightly. From her reaction, Hanako mustn't be skilled enough at academics to do very well without preparation. How did your class handle it, Lily? It went surprisingly well. Only one student was absent, which was better than what the teacher expected. With the topic all but run dry, the two concentrate on the chess game once again. I can't say I've ever liked the idea of chess as a spectator sport, but given its unique nature, I'm wrapped in watching the game unfold. As time wears on, both of them demonstrate decent skill at playing the game. Having captured 2 more pawns than Hanako, Lily has the upper hand, but only slightly. Until Hanako makes a strange move with her queen. Seizing upon this lapse in judgment, Lily takes the piece with her knight. Without hesitation, Hanako moves a pawn to take Lily's rook on the opposite side of the board and promotes it to queen. Lily's face falters as her fingers move over the pieces and realizes that she just fell into Hanako's trap. It's a little distracting to have the board traced out after each move, even if it's necessary. Judging by Hanako's lack of reaction, she must be used to this. She and Lily have played at least a few games of chess against each other after all. Check. That's not bad at all. Nice, Hanako. The compliment causes her to flower into a surprised blush. Thank you. I didn't think that would work. I look over to Lily, her fingers having just finished tracing out the position of her remaining pieces in an attempt to extricate her king from this bind. I think this is checkmate. I take another look at the board to confirm. Sure enough, her king has nowhere to escape without being threatened by another piece. My earlier question as to which of them is better at this point has just been answered. So it is. Lily gives a small sigh as Hanako smiles. From their reactions, this seems like a fairly usual result. How long have you two been playing? Since I was young. Lily nods at Hanako's brief answer. Hanako taught me how to play soon after I met her. I can't beat her, but every now and then... I can beat her every now and then, but that's a rarity. I don't seem to have the right mindset for it. If Lily came to Yamaku at the start of high school and met Hanako when she moved into the dorms, that means she's only been playing for about 1 year. After seeing Hanako's level of play, I'm not surprised that Lily has trouble beating her. Chess is so good. But she's better at languages than I am, so... Lily gives an appreciative, if slightly amused smile at Hanako's quick reversal of a compliment. Well, that's how it is. Much to everyone's surprise, the bell rings, heralding an end to the lunch break. That game lasted longer than I thought it did. Same. I guess we'd better get to class. Hanako's already in the middle of packing up, so I take Lily's bag and offer it to her. To my surprise, she takes it and nods, but then places it back down on the table. Hisao, may I make a request? Sure, go ahead. Would you mind if I were to quickly feel your face? No. Go ahead. I don't mind. The question takes me off guard, but once I regain my composure, it seems sensible enough. So far, Lily's had no idea what I actually look like, and this would be her only way to find out. Ooh, face touching. You dirty pervs. You naughty boys. Lily raises her right hand, which I take in mine, and guide to my face before letting go. The room is entirely silent as Lily's hand moves over my face and around my features, from my chin to my cheeks to everywhere else. Wink. I expected this to feel a lot more disquieting than it does. I suppose that's because the action is entirely a matter of practicality, being functionally no different to simply looking at someone's face. Her hand is so soft I can smell the lotion on it, but What takes me surprised is the length of her fingers, not to mention how sure even the slightest of her movements are. I have no doubt that her level of tactile feeling would be far beyond mine. Her hand briefly runs once through my hair before retreating. I'm sure that every inch of my face has been committed to her memory. It's only now, too, that I realize Hanako has been silently watching this whole time. I'm a dirty old man. Thank you for letting me do that, Hisao. And if I might add, I think you're quite handsome. I blush a little at her remark before raising a questioning eyebrow. But if you can't see how... Just because I can't see, that doesn't mean I don't have my own preferences. We'd better go now. Yeah, Hanako's getting a little weirded out by this. Yeah, that's a good point. I guess we'll go. We'll see you later then, Lily. Walking through the hallways back to our classrooms, I noticed that Hanako seems quieter than before, but also more comfortable. Lily, her hand on Hanako's shoulder, seems to pick up on her assured pace as well, smiling as they walk. If I could spend the rest of my time at Yamaku like this, I don't think it'd be so bad. All that's needed for joy are small exchanges of happiness, after all. As I reach my desk and set my bag beside it, I realize something, or rather my stomach does. I was so busy with those two, I forgot to buy lunch. I thought you were gonna make lunch. Come on. What are you doing, Hisao? What are you doing? Saturday, my second most favorite day of the week. This is almost entirely due to the fact that is the day with the second least amount of schoolwork, with class ending but at the beginning of lunch. I open my door confidently, myself being more than confident of being able to get enjoyment out of the fine weather and shorter class length. I confidently stride down the hallway and down the stairs to the lobby of the male dorms. I confidently look behind me to see whose steps are approaching. I lose my confidence that this day being enjoyable. Hey, Kenji.
Hey, man, sup?
Not much, I guess. Just looking forward to the afternoon. You? He wraps an arm around my slumped shoulders far too comfortably. Something's up.
Let's step outside, shall we?
I was just about to before you stopped me. Oh, hey, the mural's finished. Wow, that looks good. I don't know if it looks great, but it looks good. He doesn't take my reaction to his theatrics well. Ignoring him, I walk outside and start down the steps. It doesn't take too long for him to catch up with me again. I wonder if he wants money or to rant about another conspiracy. Maybe both.
I've got a bone to pick with you.
Oh, God.
It's about that blonde. You know who I'm talking about.
Conspiracy it is. For a moment, I'm contemplating feigning ignorance, but realize this will go quicker if I just let him get it all out. Lily, the one from your class?
You're on first name terms with her?
He looks positively shocked at this development. Did he not expect me to be able to answer? He gathers himself and coughs into his fist dramatically, like everything he does.
Well, never mind that. I'm here to warn you. Man to man.
Warn me about what? Lily?
Yeah, you don't know her, man.
It's mostly true. I've only known her and Hanako for less than 2 weeks, and even then we've only been exchanging banal chatter about school as we while away at lunch. I'm pretty sure you don't either.
That's not the point. You're the one spending inordinate amounts of time with her.
It distresses me that someone like Kenji, who's probably as far out of the loop as one could get knows about trivial facts as such trivial facts as who I choose to befriend. Then again, I am a transfer student, and she's not only the representative of their class, but also a tall blonde. Maybe I should appreciate this ranting as a warning that the rumor mill exists in the school, except that I'm firmly within it. It's just lunch, nothing special. Look, man, under the bridge, see this bridge? You're under it. A man's gotta do what a man's gotta do to get intel. I just want to make sure you don't end up too far under the bridge. You're losing me, Kenji. That's okay, lots of people get lost. That's why I'm here to help. Just be careful around her, okay? She looks harmless on the outside, but I've heard shit. Bad shit. You know the student council, right? He seems involuntarily shudder as he says the words. Putting him and Shizune together in a room is an amusing mental exercise. I wonder if they've ever met. Yeah, Shizune and Misha are in my class. I seem to have dodged the draft, though. Good man, good man. But this blonde? She was there, in the student council room. Right damn there. I see, and she's not there now. Seriously, think about it. Something must have gone down. I stopped walking for a moment, giving the idea more thought than I probably should. It would explain that fight the two had, at least in part. Wait, no, not really. Even leaving the student council would need a catalyst. In the end, it doesn't explain much at all, other than the fact that their feud goes back some ways. I guess you have a point. I'm not seeing how that really affects me, though. Okay, now field this one. Lily's foreign, obviously. She doesn't have weird colored hair. It's just blonde. Obviously. Now, what nationality is she? I opened my mouth to give an answer, but realize I have none. In fact, I've given the matter very little thought. Given that she has no accent and acts perfectly Japanese, I suppose it never really seemed important. Now that he mentions it, though, I'm rather curious. To be honest, I don't know. Maybe English? They like tea. I probably shouldn't resort to stereotypes, but that's the only lead I have. You're not thinking. Luckily, you have me here to think for you. Gee, thanks. He brushes off the quip effortlessly. Now answer this. Who has a lot of social power is filthy stinking rich. You know, blondes are all rich, right? And has a long history of disputes and used to belong to a much larger organization. America? Oh, the Roman Catholic Church. Yeah. That's true. Well, okay, there's that. But there's also the Mafia. Come on, rich, foreign, there's no way she doesn't have connections to them. I have reason to doubt the logic of his deductions, but he shows no sign of stopping. So, do you know where I think she's from? Italy? Mainland Italy's small time, dude. She has to be from Sicily. All those mafiosos types come from there. Wow, casual Sicilian hatred. Wait, no, Russia. Damn, this could be bad. The mafia there is serious business, man. Ex-KGB everywhere, paramilitaries, hardcore smuggling, and... Wait, stop. Just slow down a second. What point are you trying to get at here? You don't know what she'll do, man. I won't get in your way. Agents don't operate like that. But I just want you to know to be careful. When the time comes, we'll need all the help we can get, and I don't want to lose you, comrade. Well, at least he's concerned for me. Kinda. I wave goodbye to him as we separate into our respective classes, but I'm not sure that he sees the gesture. Alright, boys. Guys, these episodes, they're getting somewhere. That being said, I might start my other game here in a few. I might start my other game actually later tonight. But, you know, it won't be until probably after this episode comes out because I still have to do some stuff. But whatever. Guys, stay safe. Have fun. And, you know, try not to fall in love with Mafioso. Mafiosa? One of those things is more important than the others. Bye!